Welcome to the All Angles podcast, everybody. Cookie giving the pretty typical introduction of what happens. He's not wrong. I just start clicking buttons over here.
I am back home, though. I'm back in Springfield, Missouri with my normal setup, and it feels good, although I should probably have turned my AC down a bit because I am already sweating.
Yeah, it's actually, we had a couple warm days, and now we got some chilly days. So like it's only been like 60. But you never know.
Yeah, it wasn't like super hot by any means, but the humidity's already starting to ramp up, and my house is notorious for having a bit of a moisture/humidity problem, and that is already starting to appear, and that's not good. So yeah,
awesome. That's always fun to look forward to.
I am wearing a long sleeve shirt, even though I've pulled the sleeves up, but still, I shouldn't be sweating like this because these aren't exactly hot lights either. So.
Yeah. Oh, you know what's? I'm funny. I'm sitting here talking about how it's not that warm here. So tomorrow, 77, 71, 71, 83, 88, 93, 92. So.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, right now here it's 74. So it's not crazy. And it's only going to be 69, 70 tomorrow, somewhere around there. So it's not terrible. It's just the humidity's. I think we're supposed to get storms overnight and throughout the day tomorrow. So.
I wish we were getting storms. We just don't get the storms I ever want here. I do miss the Texas storms and the Florida storms.
We get some interesting ones here too. I mean, I think, well, maybe not. I don't know if we're technically in Tornado Alley here. I don't think we are, but I think we're close enough.
I mean, Joplin, Missouri is famous for one of the most devastating tornadoes in our history.
Two.
Yeah. So
one of them, I've driven by it many, many times since I've lived here. One of them apparently literally moved an entire hospital.
Yeah.
And I've driven by it. It's not a small place. It's not like some, walk-in clinic. It's a full-on hospital.
Yeah.
Multi-story. Apparently it literally slid the whole thing.
Yeah, it's a crazy. I mean, they get the tornadoes, but I mean that one, especially the one. There's actually a documentary on Netflix.
Yeah, there is. Yeah, it's a good documentary, but it's sad and terrifying.
Yeah, it is. Like again, as much as I love those things, me and you are dumbasses being outside during these things in Texas. Yeah. I think we would have stayed inside for that one.
When we get them here, they're significant, but where Springfield is, and I'm not going to get too deep in this because I tend to think I'm a pretty smart guy when it comes to this. I'm not.
His address is.
Yeah. Apparently Springfield geologically is on some sort of plateau or something weird to where whenever storms come in, they hit this sort of area and then break around us. So we don't, like right here in Springfield proper, we don't always get the worst of it. It kind of splits and goes around us a lot. But occasionally we do get them, the bad ones anyways. I mean, we get storms, but sometimes the really serious stuff, you can watch it on the map coming, and split right around us.
It's funny you say that. DC gets that. I mean, we don't get tornadoes and stuff. We had a tornado warning a couple weeks ago, but it wasn't, watch, not warning. But that happens to us at thunderstorms. Like the whole system be coming our way, and then it just kind of like does a circle around here. It's the chemtrails helping us out.
Well, so, in Dallas, it was always, and I think there's at least a slight bit of truth, especially in Dallas where it gets so hot, in Houston and all that. It's the heat generated from the city and all the concrete, it's that concrete jungle kind of thing. And there's a heat factor involved that affects the weather. I'm sure there's truth to that, but here it's not I think technically we're a city, but we're very small. We don't have high rises by any means. So it's more of a geological phenomenon here.
Like where we lived in that area was pretty warm, but you're right. Like especially like downtown Dallas and the more populous parts of them and the all commercial parts, It really is hot. Even into the night, it was just
Yeah, it just
dying
absorbs the
hot.
heat. It just absorbs it and holds it. Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty brutal. But I still liked living in Dallas.
Yeah.
It's a cool
Um,
city where a lot of people have a lot of
I
beef and
didn't.
stuff, but
I didn't, but I'm, happy for you.
Cookie loves Texas and everything about it. But we're here. We got Major League Baseball is underway.
Let me say
hot-
this. I'm going to cut you off right off the bat because I said, 2 weeks ago, it was like the happiest time of year. We had NHL and Major League Baseball debuts. It was opening day in baseball. All this stuff was happening. Well, I had forgotten one important thing, and that continues this weekend. Maybe part of it, not so much for you because I know you don't give a shit, but the first part that you do about is Frozen 4 is happening. We're recording this Thursday night. The semifinal games are happening tonight. The championship game will happen Saturday. So Frozen 4 is happening right now in Las Vegas. And the Masters is happening, which I know you don't care about, but for me, I don't watch as much golf as I used to, but I definitely will stop down and watch the Masters.
well, what's funny with golf is it's not that I don't care about it. Like golf's a hard sport. Like golf's not one of those sports I'll be like, oh, blah, blah, blah. But it is a hard sport. I was never any good at it. I'm one of those people like if I'm not good at the sport, I won't like it. That's my big beef with basketball. I'm so bad at it. I'm like,
Golf
screw
is
this sport.
golf is a sport you're not. It's supposed to be hard. You're not supposed to be good at it.
Yeah.
The guys that are good at it are playing in Augusta, Georgia right now.
Yeah, exactly. It's a tough sport, but like I will never shy away from some of these amazing shots you see on stuff. I remember a while ago I sent you one. I think it is Augusta where they have the island, the little island thing. Where's that one?
TPC Sawgrass.
Yeah. And like I was so impressed the guys were skipping the ball across.
Oh, no, okay. Back up. That's a whole different scenario. That is in Augusta. That's not the main course. They have a par 3 course there.
Oh.
And they do a par 3 tournament on the Wednesday of Masters week, and it's players are out there with their kids and their wives and all that, and and grandkids if they're old enough. And yeah, there is one hole where they make a big deal about John Rahm a couple years ago doing this and hitting a hole in one. Well, I don't know why they're just, and I like John Rahm. I don't know why they're just concentrating on him because this whole skipping across this particular bit of water on this particular hole has been happening for decades.
Well, and that's what you said back to me. I was like, this is so cool.
It happens. It happened.
And you're
this
like,
year.
it's
I
a
don't think
regular
anybody had
thing.
a hole in one doing that this year, but there were holes in one, hole in ones, holes in one. I don't know what the proper
hole in ones, because a hole in one is its own event.
So
multiple events, hole in one, not holes in one, because there's still only one hole on that hole.
You talk about like government positions, it's not attorney generals, it's attorneys general.
Yeah.
Was it holes in one or hole in ones? Anyways, there were multiple this year, but none of them were from skipping the ball across. But a bunch of people did the skipping the ball across the water and hitting the green. So it wasn't a new thing. But yeah, okay.
Yeah,
so
I've seen it much since I brought that up to you. And I'm like, oh, yeah.
No one's skipping across that pond.
No, because that thing's elevated.
It's elevated a few feet. There's no chance in hell you're skipping one up there, especially because to hit it hard enough to get it there, skipping it, even if it hit the green, it's flying across it and going across to the water on the backside.
Yeah, but I won't tune into golf. I used to watch it with you because I didn't have a fucking choice. But it was some of these great shots though. Like you can't not be impressed. I'm not the guy who's gonna be like, oh, whatever.
Yeah. There's some good golf today too, but it's round one. There's some great golf though, and yeah, I'm excited for this weekend. I have issues with Augusta National as a organization, as a course, because of their checkered history with racism and and other things. But anyways, Frozen 4 is this weekend, which will in a big way lead us into one of our big subjects tonight.
What time is that game on Saturday?
Well, while we're talking, let me look it up. And I'm going to go ahead and ask everybody to forgive me tonight because of what we're talking about. There's going to be some bright light on my face at times as I'm reading some stories.
He glows like an angel.
Not so much. So let's see. Saturday, I'm assuming these are Eastern times. Maybe they're not. Oh yeah, they are Eastern times. 5:30 Eastern. Saturday.
Oh, perfect. So actually, cool thing. The guy who's our ice technician, the main ice technician at Capital One Arena, is doing it out there in Vegas for the Frozen Four, Al Carl. So shout out to Al. Al's awesome.
All right. Can I ask what in my head is a really dumb question?
What's the ice technician?
I know what an ice technician is. Why does the home of the Vegas Golden Knights need someone else to come be an ice technician?
I think it's just somebody hired by the NCAA because I guess when they do this thing there, they basically rent out the arena.
Nothing against this guy, but that just seems very strange to me.
It is weird. Like when he said he was out there doing it, maybe he's not running the show. Maybe he's part of the crew because they want to bring in some top guys to make sure everybody's on it for the tournament. But yeah, he posted a picture that he was out there. Al used to be up in New York with the Islanders for the longest time, which is funny because when I was going back to old photos, I see Al in the background of so many of my old photos. But now,
I'm not an Islanders fan, but thank you, New York Islanders, thank you.
Why?
For firing Patrick Waugh.
Oh,
yeah. And bringing in Pete DeBoer, who I'm a fan of.
I'm a fan of Pete DeBoer. Yeah. Hey, that guy. Well,
and I realize there comes a point where he wears on players because it's happened everywhere he's been, but that guy can coach. There's no question.
No, he knows hockey. He likes his players. He respects his players. And
players don't always like him.
Yeah. But he doesn't coach for himself like other people.
Yeah.
So, but Al's out there doing on the ice crew out there. He's our main guy at Cap One Arena, so that's pretty cool. He's out there doing that. But Saturday is going to be a fun day because the Capitals have a home and home with the Pens, and they're in Pittsburgh Saturday, 3:00 game, and then we have a 3:00 game on Sunday, which is our last regular season game. And as you know, the speculation about Ovechkin is through the roof. Well, first of all, if anyone were to know anything, I'd be the last person to know. Like, nobody tells me shit. The only way I would be really thinking is if they're like, John, we need you to go on these last 2 trips. And I was like, that I'm not going.
But everything I've read, and again, you have more insight just from being there, but I also know the position you're in. You don't really have insight, but just by being around there, you have more. But what I have heard, whether it's through NHL radio or stories I've seen on social media or even just through the grapevine is, and by the way, I respect this, is that Ovi's the kind of guy that is, even if he's made his decision, he doesn't want the farewell tour. He publicly said that. He publicly said he didn't want the farewell tour. He liked how Gretzky went out. I suspect if he's going to tell anybody else in the league, it's going to be the guy he's playing this weekend.
Yeah.
Because of their shared, kind of history in the league. I suspect him and Crosby will have, if they haven't already, will have a conversation.
Those two saved hockey.
Yeah.
I mean, the rivalry between them, on top of the fact that Sidney Crosby, we said this the other day, the greatest 200-foot player.
Go down as and again, all due respect to my hero, Gordie Howe, Mario, politics aside, Gretzky, I mean, just pure from a hockey standpoint, all due respect to all those guys and the greats that came before them. I don't know how you don't put Sidney Crosby up there as the best to ever do it.
He's 38 years old right now. 20th season. He's up there in the tops of the top point scorers ever.
First, I think.
Him and Ovechkin came in the same year.
Because it was his 21st straight point per game season, I thought.
Oh, yeah, maybe that was it. Him and Ovechkin came in the exact same year because Ovechkin won the Rookie of the Year that year, and Crosby was the other one. And there's one other guy. Can you imagine, by the way, going up for Rookie of the Year and you got Crosby and Ovechkin in the category with you?
I got to look this up. I'm going to look up a couple things while you're talking here.
But, John Walton, which does Caps Radio, had an interview with Ovi and Ted Leonsis about the future of Ovi. And Ovi said to him that he's going to decide in the offseason. He's going to talk to his family, see how he feels. I'm guessing when it comes time to start getting ready for the next season and he starts going through those things, he'll see how he feels. Because remember, they've been in the league the exact same amount of time, but Ovi's also 2 years older than Crosby.
Yeah.
So, Crosby turns 39 this summer. Ovi turns 41 in September.
So yeah, 05, 06 is Crosby's rookie year. So this would be his 20th. You're right. But yeah, as we talked about on a text the other day or phone call or whatever. I don't remember if we were a phone call or what.
I think it was the text, but yeah, I think Crosby is the greatest. Ovechkin's the greatest goal scorer to ever live, and that's inarguable.
Oh, this is even better. You know who the other finalist was? Oh, I love this even better because he lost. Dion Phaneuf.
I was about to say, I'm wondering who I'm trying to think of the players I know you do not like.
Dion fucking Phaneuf.
Yeah, that goes to show
By
you.
the way, hell of a rookie class, though.
Yeah,
Hank Lundqvist, Thomas
that bastard.
Vanek, Alexander Steen, Jeff Carter.
Wow,
Jesus.
Ovechkin and Crosby are the only two still playing.
Yeah,
by a long shot.
Yeah,
Talk about durability.
If Hank hadn't had his heart issues, he might, but as a goalie, probably not.
Yeah, I mean, he's too busy being handsome and wonderful as a person. But, yeah, that's a hell of a goalie class. But, I mean, you know, the Capitals did this whole thing about the road to 895, just showing all the different years and milestones for Ovi. And it's just, as a player, I mean, he brought excitement back to scoring. Because, I mean, we all remember the comments that, what's his face, Don Cherry made about Ovechkin and celebrating too hard. But honestly, I love celebrations.
I am one of those. I mean, I suspect I'm like many, that as I got older and more mature, realized what an absolute joke Don Cherry was. And I'm gonna piss off a lot of people, and I don't care.
I mean, Don Cherry did. Here's one good thing Don Cherry did. Don Cherry helped the merchandising of the Carolina Hurricanes, unlike any marketing team ever could, because he called them a bunch of jerks for doing their storm surge at the end of the game. And the Carolina Hurricanes probably saved their franchise with the amount of bunch of jerks merchandise they sold after he said that. Yeah, he was. And I'm not giving him the generational excuse.
And as a kid, I was all about his Rock'em Sock'em hockey videos and all that. And again, as I got older and more mature and realized that was a part of the game that didn't really appeal to me. And then the stuff he would say was just like, dude, you're a clown.
Well, which is ironic that he hated like the super excited guys when they scored, but he loved like this cheap shot hockey that happened all the time. And it was just, and a guy who wore the loudest and most obnoxious suits in history. But he didn't like guys celebrating their goals really hard and
whatever.
But yeah, he was just part of that generation. It was like, it had to be professional. It's like, I'm sorry, the guys aren't smoking cigarettes between periods anymore.
Right.
So, but yeah, I mean, like I said, John Walton did an interview with Ovi and Ted, and Ovi said that he's going to take the summer and kind of decide then. The Capitals are going to let him do whatever he wants to do because he built hockey in DC.
I'd say he's earned that right.
Yeah. And, obviously me and Jess will probably have cameras covering every square inch of the ice just in case. And just like Oshie's last game in playoffs.
They're going to send you to Russia, dude.
Cool. I'm a fan. I would love to go actually and just be there around Ovechkin.
That'd be cool.
I mean, I'll be around Ovechkin. I'll be fine.
Yeah.
I'll be well taken care of.
No, that'd be cool.
I made this joke. We went to Ottawa. I went on a trip to Ottawa one year and he was chasing 800, I think it was, or maybe some other record. But I went to Ottawa and on the way home, like when we got there, it was nice. There was no weather. During the game, it started to snow buckets where they had to ground all commercial airline travel. And we had to get on the plane to come back home. And the plane is covered in snow. I'm not talking about the little bits of it on it. I mean, it's piling up there. And we're all getting on the plane. And Alex, one of the team video guys, he works for the broadcast mostly for Monumental, was like, he already doesn't like flying. And like, he was worse than me back in the day. And you know what that was like. Yeah. But he's like, we're on the plane and I'm looking at him and he's already like sitting white knuckling it. We haven't even moved. The door's still open as the players are getting on the plane. And I look at him and I go, dude, if this plane takes off, it's 100% okay to take off because we have Alex Ovechkin sitting in the front of this plane. And I go, on the flip side, if something does happen, we'll be listed as others.
As others, yes. Yeah.
Our names will not make the paper
Alex
or any of the news.
And others.
Alex Ovechkin and others.
Yeah.
we might get our name on the headstone, but that'll be about it. But I go, if this plane takes off, it's fine. And they had to de-ice the plane twice. We took off and flew home. We didn't leave the clouds the whole flight home. It was like an hour and 20-minute flight. We were in the clouds the entire way. And so I'm actually I got over it. Cookie remembers I was a nervous flyer. It's like I was fine on takeoff and landing, which is where most people freak out. I didn't like any of the bumps in the sky. And Cookie got me drunk a few times.
A flight attendant got you drunk once.
Yeah, boy, did he. He comes up with a cup like probably like a 20-ounce styrofoam cup.
Like a styrofoam cup bigger than this.
And he's like, here's some coffee. You need this. It was straight Jack Daniels.
Yeah, it wasn't coffee.
And let me tell you, I was fine putting that down. Who picked us up from the airport? I don't remember. Somebody picked us up from the airport and I was ripped. But yeah, no, I'm fine. I'm fine flying now. I actually quite enjoy it. If it gets real bumpy, I'll get a little nervous, but it's just funny with Alex. I'm like, dude, if we take off, Alex Ovechkin's on the plane, we're gonna be fine. I go, otherwise, no one will know it. We're on the plane. But yeah, he like going to Russia would be awesome.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Honestly, it would be. Yeah,
and he'd have to come back anyway. Like,
standpoint,
yeah, he'll come back anyway because even though he doesn't want the goodbye tour, the farewell tour, he would come back to address the fans to officially announce the retirement.
Oh, and his number will go on the rafters, and
yeah, I'm wondering how quick they would do that, just because he's going to be living back in Russia, no doubt.
Hockey Hall of Fame, all that stuff. Yeah.
Well, it was funny. The NHL said, possibly Ovi's last time in Toronto, and everybody in the comments was like, nope, he'll be back there when they induct him in the Hall of Fame.
He'll be back.
But
as people could notice, well, two things. I'm twitchy again because my issue, if you guys were watching a few weeks ago, and I've got my neck and shoulder issue, it hasn't gone away. So if I'm a little twitchy, that's why. In fact, it's now traveled to the other side. So I'm going to have to get this taken care of. But if you haven't noticed already, it is, and as much as we've said from day one, we're trying not to make this a hockey show. Today's is going to be kind of hockey heavy, not completely, because there's going to be other sports involved in what we're talking about. But hockey, obviously, for us is a big thing. But I think within what we're about to talk about, hockey specifically might take the brunt of what is potentially happening. And I say potentially.
Yeah.
I think as we'll get into this, you'll hear some things, and we'll talk about the fact that it.
Sorry.
What's John doing? But as we get into this, I think you'll agree that it's only going to take one lawsuit to put this thing to rest. So, but we'll talk about this more as we're moving forward. But there's been big news in the world of college sports over the last 48 to 72 hours, and it started, well, depending on how you look at it, it started with NCAA administration, or it started with the White House.
But yeah, we'll get into that in a moment. I do have a non-baseball thing that you shared to me, and I saw it right before you.
Thing?
I'm sorry, a non-hockey thing, but it is baseball. That's what you just heard when I pulled up, because I was trying to find the person's name. But the coolest thing, so people who grow up in areas and don't leave the area can build a real relationship with a sports team, like from their first time going to a game to where the team is now and whatnot. And the cool story is with the girl you sent the video of, that was a baby going to the Nationals game when she was a kid back at the old stadium even. And she just turned 21, and instead of doing a first pitch, they did a first sip where she went out there and did the sip of beer.
Okay, hang on. I didn't read the story. I just saw the video.
Yeah, so her, like,
she's
been going to games.
Part. I thought it was hilarious.
Yeah.
I didn't know that there was a backstory to that.
Do you think Budweiser just cranked in a bunch of money for this one?
Why the hell wouldn't they? Of course.
Yeah. But yeah, so the girl, like, was born and raised in the DC area somewhere, would go to games with her dad. Like, there's pictures of her and her dad at the old stadium even. I think they were playing at RFK, where the old Redskins would play. And she's an infant at these games, and she just turned 21 years old. And so, like, as a fan thing, they brought her out to do her first sip, turning 21.
She chugged it too.
But yeah, no, that wasn't her first sip. But because let me tell you, I remember my first beer, and I was just like, ick. And I'm still like that, actually.
It. No, I just thought it was a funny idea in general, and now you told me that story, it's even better.
Yeah, it's great. And here's the best part: is let's go through the first bunch of comments on here. America has a problem with weed, but promoting alcohol is perfectly fine. Our new favorite tradition. The challenge is having to drink Budweiser, throwing some shade at Bud on that one.
Fair point.
The Nationals commented first sip and with a laughing thing. This guy, as an alcoholic, this is dope as fuck, bro. So, we'll post the video in the descrition, and by all means, please go enjoy the comments.
I sent that to you, and I sent that to Brian, my buddy back home, and I almost, maybe I should. It's one of those things. We need to get Tyler back on and have this conversation, because I always feel like I'm hesitant to send him stuff like that, but he's the kind of person that would think that was actually really funny.
Oh, Tyler would probably crack up. I'd be sure Tyler saw it because he's a baseball fan too.
Yeah, big Cubs guy.
Yeah, made it try. Which you sent me another video of what happened at a Cubs game. Person losing their britches, going for a foul ball. That's all I'm gonna say about that.
That poor bastard.
It's funny, but honestly, my heart breaks for that person because now they have to live the rest of their life.
That poor bastard.
With that. And that does suck. But yeah, baseball, it's baseball season. So like, we got the Nationals and O's here. And traffic just sucks going. So where I live, I can get to Baltimore and go to an O's game in almost as much time as it takes me to get to a freaking Nationals game, and it's half the distance there, just because of what traffic does getting closer to it. Camden Yards, they have great parking and stuff, and it's like right across the street from their football stadium. So they have like really good parking for everything.
Camden Yards has great parking. That kind of surprises me.
Yeah, they got lots all around it.
I don't know that, because on TV you only see like outfield wall where there's the warehouse and
the factory thing. Yeah, right on the other. I think it's on the behind home plate is where the football stadium is in the other direction.
I didn't even know that. I didn't know it was right next to the football stadium.
And they have all the lots kind of around there. It's pretty ample parking, and they do have trains running between both stadiums as well.
Nice. Yeah,
but nice. Cookie, that's the trip. I mean,
aren't the Rangers just there?
I don't know. Honestly, I've been doing a terrible job of following baseball already this season.
I think for some reason I want to say the Rangers were just in Baltimore.
The Nationals had to open up their home weekend against the Dodgers.
Okay, yeah, I was wrong. No, I wasn't wrong.
They were just here?
Yeah, the Rangers were just there 1st of April.
Yeah, I'm sure they're back a few other times too.
Rangers won 2 out of 3.
Yeah, Baltimore was like this hot topic for a while, and they had Adley Rushman, this catcher, coming up.
Yeah.
And just kind of, I don't know what happened to him, but the hype was gone, getting very poor critiques, just not really living up to the expectations they had of him. But I still think he's a hell of a good catcher. And you, just like me, we love when there's a good catcher making noise, because that was our position. And
I remember when he first came up, his first games, because he was, he made a name for himself before he ever stepped foot on the plate, because he was like shaking hands with the umpire and doing all this stuff, and just
did the thing where he looked around the stadium.
Yeah.
Yep. I was there. I actually shot that game, but I didn't realize all that was happening. We've discussed, I'm not a huge fan of photographing baseball. So like once you get into the game enough, I'm like,
yeah.
But I did get a good photo where I think he had a triple and popped up on third. I mean, it was a pretty clean triple and slid in and stood up. And I was just like, and people were going crazy because they're like, it's the future. We're
By
good.
The way, since we're talking about what's going on in baseball right now, let me pull something up here, because I just heard this and I was shocked but pleasantly surprised. Pulling up the MLB website right now. So where are stats? There we go. Statistically, are we doing MLB website? Good grief. Stop trying to sell me stuff.
Yeah. That's everything.
So the major league leader in, wow, is their website confusing now? How do you even do this?
Cookie's struggling.
Have you been on the stat site yet?
No. Let me do it as you are.
Holy crapola. I don't know what I'm looking at.
Is Billy Bean running it all?
What? I don't even know what these numbers mean.
Stats.
Just give me basic stats.
Well, when you click on the stats, there's
Wait, nope, that ain't it either. What am I looking at?
just click on stats, and then they have like the drop down, but don't click on any of the drop downs. Just click on stats. It'll bring you to the good old fashioned.
I did exactly that.
Because here you got baseball savant, StatCast leaders, and top prospects.
Here we go. All right. And sure enough, I'm seeing it right away. The major league leader, well, he's tied, although he's leading in RBIs. Major league leader in home runs and RBIs, and I thought it was something else too. But home runs and RBIs is good enough for me. Drake Baldwin, catcher for the Atlanta Braves. And I have mentioned his name on here before because he is a Missouri State alum and was the catcher at Missouri State when I was still coaching at Missouri State, the hockey team. And I would go to almost all the Missouri State baseball games and sit right behind, like first row behind the on-deck circle from Missouri State. And I used to try and talk to Drake frequently. And the general manager of the Missouri State hockey team would sit with me, and we would both get in his ear on a regular basis because I'm going to look something up now. Else up right now. Because Drake
we
Baldwin,
talk 5 home runs, 12 runs, 17 hits in only 53 at bats,
15 RBIs.
Yep. Batting .321.
Drake Baldwin is from Madison, Wisconsin. And in his high school hockey career for Madison West High School, he had 195 points in 84 games. So we would sit right behind the on-deck circle, and anytime he showed up, hey, you want to come play hockey for Missouri State? When are you going to come play hockey for us? And he was always... He wouldn't acknowledge us. We knew he could hear us because we could see a little smirk. And then finally one day he turned around, and the head coach at Missouri State, and he was there for 40 years. I mean, the guy's a legend. He's now doing broadcast. Keith Gutton, and Keith Gutton's a great guy. His replacement's doing unreal things. By the way, you know, and I'm an alum, even though I don't work there anymore. I don't coach there. And from a hockey standpoint, they're becoming a rival of ours. I don't care. From a baseball standpoint, you know, go see what Missouri State baseball is doing right now. It's unbelievable. They've beat Arkansas. They beat the brakes off of Oklahoma State the other day. But Drake turned around at one point and says, "I would really like to, but coach will never let me." And by the way, I will say this: he made the right choice. He was National League Rookie of the Year last year when he wasn't even supposed to be in the bigs last year. They had, Braves had an injury to their catcher beginning of the season. They called up Drake just to fill in, and he never let go of the position. And now he's their guy, and he's leading all of Major League. Again, it's early. I get it. There's been 13 games, but he leads the majors in home runs and RBIs and runs.
He Wally pipped somebody.
Yeah, he did Wally pip somebody. He's tied with Jose Altuve for the most runs scored in Major League Baseball right now. Like, come on.
That's crazy. Let's go ahead and talk about Missouri State's baseball. I just went to their thing. It looks like the only team Missouri State had a problem with was Ole Miss, losing 3 straight to them, but took 2 out of 3 over Louisiana Raging Cajuns, lost 8-7 to Oklahoma State, I guess maybe the first time. Walked through Memphis, lost to Southeast Missouri State 13-6. So that's just one of those games.
Yeah, especially because they're Missouri State from a baseball, well, from really any standpoint, is considered a mid-major.
Yeah,
they're not a big name school, but they are. Watch out.
2 out of 3 from Liberty.
They keep this up. You know, College World Series might be in the cards for them.
Oh damn! Yeah, you're right, man.
They
16-2. 16-2. They beat Oklahoma State.
When we recorded our last Drew University hockey coaches show, it was a couple Tuesdays ago. Because this is why I remember this. I was driving to Holdfast Brewing where we recorded the show. I go directly past. It's the Springfield Cardinals minor league ballpark where Missouri State plays. I was driving by there. I could tell they were playing. So I turned the radio on real quick to see what was going on. And at the time, it was like 9-0 or something. And I'm like, holy crap.
Wow.
And I get to I get to the brewery, and Kevin Klein, who everybody's heard us talk about many times, he's the voice of Drury hockey. He's the host of the Coaches Show. He also happens to have been a former Oklahoma State Cowboy baseball player. He played baseball there. So
yeah, I think he talked about that.
Yeah. And the first thing I said when I walked in, I was like, your Cowboys are getting the shit kicked out of them right now down the street. And he's like, really? I go, yeah. Last I heard, it was 9-0. He's like, oh my God. And by the way, the 9-0, no, it was 8-0. Here's why I know it was 8-0. There was 2 grand slams.
Holy crap.
Yeah. That's why it was 8-0.
Check the bats, everybody. Yeah, they beat Arkansas 15-14 in 10 innings.
And of course, maybe you can't imagine, but people that know the geography here, that's a huge thing. It's where we are. It's either Mizzou or Arkansas. We're right between both of them, and those are both big games.
I mean, Arkansas, at least at the time, was ranked 17th.
Yeah,
so
they were one of the top teams in the country at the time. Yeah.
Took 3 from Sam Houston. Sam Houston's one of these teams.
Notoriously a good baseball program.
Yeah, they're one of these teams that you never hear about because they're in Conference USA. So it's like, who cares? But they're one of these teams that just occasionally, you'll be like, oh, damn, these guys are good. Oh, they're here. Well, not here, but they're close. They're in Delaware this weekend.
Sam Houston?
No, Missouri State.
Actually, you know what? I knew that because the radio voice for them, Corey Riggs. Actually, I'd like to get Corey on here at some time now that I think about it. Corey Riggs actually posted something I'm pulling up right now. It was actually
the Blue Hens.
Blue Hens, yes.
Terrifying.
He posted earlier. Greetings from the first state and land of the Blue Hens, getting ready for game 1 versus Delaware. And that stadium looks pretty crappy.
Yeah, Delaware is one of these places that has like a bunch of.
That bad. I take that back.
I think. Correct me if I'm wrong, and I apologize if I'm wrong.
Full turf field, including the dirt.
Ugh. Remember how I felt about that in New Mexico? Which New Mexico, I get it. It's the desert, but in Delaware, get a grip. But remember, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, I think Delaware is getting an NCAA Division I women's team for hockey.
That I don't know.
But yeah, so I do love college baseball.
Yeah.
We talked about this going to Omaha.
Yeah,
the College World Series. I would love to do that.
I used to love going to the Missouri State games. I don't go to the Drury games. I've been to a couple, and that's nothing against them. Their coach is a good dude. It's just not. It's not as close to my house, so it's a little. I mean, again, nothing's far in Springfield, but it's not. I don't. I'm not gonna say out of my way. I don't make the effort, which is pretty shitty of me, admittedly. And also, the field is not. They're doing, and to their credit, they're doing a lot of work to the field, a lot of renovations. The field itself, the outfield wall, all that stuff, the scoreboard they've redone. It's great. The seating area is still atrocious, and they need to do something. It's not comfortable to go watch a game.
Is it just like grandstand bleacher kind of stuff?
No, it's concrete. I mean, it's just these basically concrete block, and again, they're fixing it. It's just going to take some time, and it's just not good. And it's not unless I bring my own chair to go sit in by the fence, which I could, but I don't really want to. It's just not.
Are they NCAA? Are they NAIA? Are they Division II?
NCAA, Division II. Yeah, all of the Drury NCAA sports are Division II. Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny because of how much I pay attention to hockey. I never think about.
There's like 4 of them.
Yeah, I never think about. That's the thing is I never think about Division II sports.
Yeah, and their baseball team, Division II level, Drury's a solid school. I mean, their athletic department does pretty well. The swim team is always one of the best in the country. Baseball team does well. Their basketball teams did pretty well this year. Soccer teams did pretty well this year. So they do well at the Division II level for sure.
Is Drury's field all turf too?
I think it is. I don't know about, again, they've done a lot of renovations. I don't remember if the dirt portion is just the brown turf. It might be.
Yeah, it is. I'm looking at it. It looks sharp, but
the softball field's right next to it. The softball games. By the way, softball games are really fun to go to. Honestly, they're so fun.
That makes me think. Remember the other video I sent you? God, what was her name? I got to find it. I sent you on Instagram where that girl was just. They walked her all game,
Yeah.
And she was just such a lethal player. And then they had a pitch to her and she hits a grand slam.
Absolutely roped one.
What's her name? Hold on, it wasn't that far back.
And it's good we're talking all this college sports stuff because
Bree Ellis.
Yeah. No,
was the girl's name. But that is the perfect transition, what you're about to say, because so basically I didn't read the full article. Because first of all, I couldn't get it to load on my phone. I had to like copy it and bring it to my computer. But the gist of what I got was, so the NCAA and President Trump just signed off on this rule saying that baseball players can really only play 5 years now, and they're only allowed to transfer once.
I'm going to stop you. We're going to back up. I'm going to stop you because we're going to back up. This wasn't a question of him signing off on something. Literally on Friday, this past Friday, he signed an executive order.
Was it?
Yeah.
Why is he so involved in this?
Because there's obviously not more important things going on in the world right now.
That's so true. Nothing's happening.
Okay, I digress.
Do you?
Are you going on your coffee date yet? Anyways.
Twit.
So he signed an executive order on Friday. And again, I will say there as we go through this, and I still don't know, even reading the articles and seeing other stuff, I don't, and I'm sure a lot of people still don't know the full depth of everything that's going on. And by the way, signing an executive order doesn't, when it comes to college athletics, it doesn't really mean anything. Like, how is the federal government going to, anyways, and most people will agree that it's just going to take one court, one lawsuit to say, yeah.
Well, I mean, the federal government gets involved because look at the debt, the student debt, and now the battle with that. So the federal government gets involved with the universities and something like this because this does play into financials heavily.
Yeah, yes and no. But anyways, let's get to probably what are the essentially two main parts of this. And we'll get into the hockey side of it, because again, I think hockey is affected more than anything just because of the nature of how
you get to college,
moving into college. And we'll get into that. We talked about it a bit over the time, but we'll get more into that here in a second. But essentially what it is, and again, there's parts of this I don't disagree with, and I like the first part of this to where, so college sports up until COVID, it was, you play for your 4 years. The only way you could play more than 4, and if you really break it down, you're not playing more than 4 because you get a medical red shirt.
Yeah.
You get hurt, you get a medical red shirt. So you're not really playing more than 4. You're still playing your 4 years because you essentially, if you get the medical red shirt, that means you've missed a year because of injury.
But I think you don't even qualify for that. Like if you play one game.
Well, I don't think so, because I know there's been guys that have been granted a medical red shirt that played damn near half the season or more, which never made sense to me. Ever made sense to me. And we'll get into that because there's some other stories I want to bring into this, not hockey related. Anyways, so the first part is so the executive order wasn't saying this is what's happening. It was a mandate basically to the NCAA, which again, what's the point? Like, what are we doing here?
Like I said, the NCAA is the mob. So
yeah, but the NCAA has responded to this saying some of what the president brought up in this is things they've been talking about anyways, and they might have. I do think they're going to have to look at it, as we'll discuss here in a minute, on a sport by sport basis because of the nature of men's hockey in particular. But anyways, first one is college athletes can play no more than a 5-year period, and allow them. And the second part of that is allow them to transfer only once. I don't hate either of those.
Without losing a year of eligibility, because you used to lose a year of eligibility if you transferred.
Well, that's been gone for a while, ever since the portal and all that. So that part I'm not worried about. So the question mark is no more than a 5-year period. So what they're saying is, and this has kind of been a thing anyway, so I don't know why this is a problem, other than we'll get into this. Your clock starts, you have a certain amount of time. Now, if you're granted a red shirt, then your clock is paused and you can restart it. Well, not restart it, but it'll start again at that where you left off, basically. So you play a year. Well, and let's just bring it up now, because again, as I mentioned in the beginning, there's going to be some times. So there's two big stories, kind of somewhat related to this, but not. So I don't know if you've seen this. So NCAA basketball, men's and women's. And by the way, and I can get into this University of Miami linebacker that is getting an 8th year of eligibility. I mean, it's just insane. But I want to talk about the basketball one because it's a interesting story. South Carolina, University of South Carolina just won the women's national championship. And I don't even want to get into the whole Gino Auriemma being a prick to Don Staley after the game stuff. I mean, what a classless piece of shit. There's a player on South Carolina, and I'm going to go ahead and butcher some names, just be aware, but Medina Okot, I believe is her name. I believe that's how you pronounce it. I could be very wrong. She hasn't been playing basketball all that long, but long enough to where she's become a force, basically. And she played collegiately, and I use that in air quotes, in Kenya, where she's from, for 2 years. She's now been at Mississippi State for 3 and wanted one more year of eligibility, and the NCAA said, no, you've played your 5 years. They're counting the 2 years in Kenya as part of her time. So, moving on, there is a men's player at High Point University. Bonus points if you can tell me where the fuck that is.
North Carolina.
Is it?
Yeah.
Whatever. I don't give a shit.
It's out by Winston-Salem.
This dude is now getting his 7th year of eligibility.
So, which begs the question.
He had a couple of injuries. So he got red shirts. He got the COVID year. He's getting his 7th year. Why is it that this young lady, and by the way, she's going to go pretty high in the WNBA draft. She's going to play, but she wanted to play one more year at South Carolina, having only played there 3 years and 2 years at some sort of university back home in Kenya. I'm going to go out on a limb and say it, not quite the equivalent of playing at South Carolina.
Well, here's the thing with the guy, though. Please don't come at me. Like, I'm not defending the guy over the women. Did he play all of those years, or was he redshirted and not play? In the COVID year, obviously.
All that I've seen, and by the way, he's at High Point now. He started at Kentucky in 2020, played 9 games, and then fell out of the rotation. So that's not a redshirt. He played 9 games. That's a year, as far as I'm concerned. And I think they are counting that as a full year.
One of those years.
He later suffered, and I'm reading directly from this story here, later suffered 2 season-ending knee injuries and a thumb injury, which meant he played 28 games between 2022 and 2025. He received a special waiver from the NCAA. Now, it doesn't go into specifics as to how many games he had played in those seasons he suffered the injuries. Because this is kind of what we were talking about a minute ago. Like, how many games is it before you lose that season as one of your seasons?
Right.
And then again, you've got guys playing NCAA football that are this guy, Mohamed Toure. He's just been granted his 8th season because, again, he had ACL injuries at Rutgers in 2022 and in 2024.
These guys are going to have like a wife and kids by the time they're done playing college sports.
So this is my thing, and I'm going to get the brightness off my face. I've gotten rid of this. So this is the concern, and this is the concern I have. And then we'll get into the hockey part of it. But at some point, and again, I get it. You want to extend your careers as long as you can because not everybody's going professional. Most of you aren't. The numbers are clear there. At some point, though, and we had, our oldest player this year was 25. He turned 26 after the season ended. He was one. He played a full 5 years. Again, we'll get into the hockey side because that's not massively uncommon in hockey because of how it works. But
yeah, there's no path to college sports like hockey.
No, but when you have football players who are playing into their mid to late 20s, that's to me a problem. And the only reason I say that is because, and then we'll kind of lead into hockey, is football players, you go from high school to college. There's no in between. Hockey there is, and we're about to talk about that, which is why hockey is going to be more affected by part of this rule. Because again, I think I need to get into this now. Part of this rule is, and I'll have to find it here, but it basically says, I can't find it right off the bat, but and correct me if I'm wrong, but it basically says, essentially, your clock starts running either at 19 years old or when you graduate, whichever comes first, I think, or latest. I don't remember the exact terminology, but again, we'll just use the 19 as a.
Well, it's probably whatever comes first because the majority of kids graduate at 18.
That's what I'm saying. We'll use the 19. Well, that's why I'm questioning which one it is, because that is an important differential. But the 19-year-old, we'll just go right into hockey because we could talk about the other stuff, but I'm not knowledgeable enough on it to talk about it. The 19-year-old thing in hockey at the Division I level, NCAA Division I, you can kind of, and I mean this wholeheartedly, kind of get away with it because NCAA Division I is kind of the one level of college hockey, including ACHA, like the hat I'm wearing, where you will get guys directly out of high school. Whether it's either going to be a Minnesota kid or a Massachusetts kid, or maybe.
And these kids usually aren't coming out of high school. They usually were already playing juniors up through their senior year.
But there are, you get the studs out of a Minnesota high school hockey, who those kids don't generally go juniors because they think they should be in D1 right off the bat anyway. So we'll just say there's a smaller percentage of college hockey players that are going straight from high school to college.
Well, yeah, I just looked it up as part of this argument is the average age of a freshman in college NCAA hockey is 20 to 21 years old, which obviously if you're saying that's not very old, no, but that's 2 to 3 years removed from high school.
Right. And I tried to look this up earlier, but the numbers were weird, especially because AI doesn't really, this is one of those AI hasn't quite figured out yet, but
AI needs to go away.
But common sense will tell you this for this very reason, as we talked about. And anybody who's in sports, this will be common sense to you as well. Baseball, basketball, soccer, football, it doesn't matter. You're going directly from high school to college. So you're 18 years old, maybe 19. I mean, there was a freshman, we talked about the Frozen Four was on tonight. Freshman playing for Wisconsin tonight. Big defenseman, or maybe it was North Dakota. Anyways, doesn't matter. He was 17 years old, freshman. Big dude, by the way, stud. 17-year-old freshman. So he's one of those guys that came straight out of high school. So you're going to get those in hockey, but it's few and far between. But in every other sport, the freshman athletes are 17, 18 years old. Maybe
that's
19.
why hockey has the phrase a true freshman.
Yeah. College hockey freshmen, with those very few exceptions, where you have those guys from Minnesota, Michigan, and Massachusetts specifically. Those are the kind of states that produce these guys, Minnesota in particular. But generally speaking, college freshmen in hockey are 20 to 21 years old. And for those that don't know, well, let's get into the depths of this. There is that level of junior hockey that John and I both coached for a long time. Jeremy coached for a long time, our buddy. Junior hockey is kind of that gap. It's 16 to 20-year-old, but you can turn 21 after December 31st. That's why I mentioned there could be 21-year-olds. Just as an example, my team here in Springfield, Jeremy and I's team, Drury University, every single one of our players came in as 20 or 21-year-old freshmen. We were the oldest freshmen on campus by 2 to 3 years minimum. And that's just hockey in general. That's nothing we did different. That's just hockey in general. So if you're going to institute, going back to what's happening right now, if you're going to institute a rule that your eligibility starts at 19 and or whatever graduating high school, college hockey just took it in the shorts, and junior hockey just took it in the shorts. And subsequently, because of how the process works, even professional hockey to an extent has taken it in the shorts. Because when these guys are now, all of them conceivably having to go straight to college from high school, which I know there's people that argue they should anyways, but that's just not how hockey works. It hasn't been how hockey has worked for a generation.
Oh, I mean, it's
many generations.
Yeah, I mean, the whole thing is, I mean, we talk about the movie Youngblood as our favorite, like one of our favorite hockey movies. And he's people got to remember Dean Youngblood was 16 years old talking about how he had to go play juniors if he wanted to go pro, which was the path. And like a lot of these true freshmen that go into college, like again, just the two guys that play for the Capitals, Leonard and Hudson, are both 19. Old Leonard's 20 years old now. Yeah. They went in as true freshmen, played 2 years of college hockey. But hockey is also the only sport you can get drafted and go back. Oh, baseball as well.
Baseball.
And hockey, go back to school as property of an NHL or a major league team. But you know, these guys, if they're special talents, they can go and start and be a freshman, a true freshman in college hockey. And like, I just pulled this thing up here. Like right now, did Quinny make the Frozen Four? I haven't even followed college hockey this year.
No, the Frozen Four is Wisconsin, Nodak, and then Michigan, and son of a bitch. That game's going on right now. I just can't remember who's playing in it.
Well, to even lean on that, then you look at these. So the 25-26 season.
God, how did I not know it was Denver?
Denver, okay. Well, good, perfect, even better. Because the 25-26 season, the freshmen that they have here, true freshmen, Ethan Whitenbach played for Quinnipiac. He was a 19-year-old true freshman, which is still, like, I turned 18 in November my senior year of high school, so I turned 19 in November my freshman year of college. For Michigan State, actually, guy just went up to Philadelphia and played his first game against the Capitals. Porter Martone.
Cool. Love that guy.
He's a big boy.
Love that guy.
He was, I think he was a true freshman. Jack Ivankovic plays for Michigan. He's a goalie, 18, 19-year-old goalie. He came from, this is the other part of it, he came from the OHL. Stephen Peck, another true freshman, also a goalie for Michigan. And Johnny Hicks is the other true freshman playing for Denver. And he's also a goalie. So that's 3 goalies that are true freshmen, by the way, out of the 5 names I mentioned. And then the last name, which actually came into college as a 17-year-old, none other than Gavin McKenna, played for Penn State. And a lot of people were being very critical of him because he tore it up for Medicine Hat in the WHL and then kind of came out a little bit slow at Penn State, but turned it on for sure. And again, he was 17 years old playing amongst men.
Yeah.
In college for Penn State. And then last year, Cole Hudson was a true freshman. Celebrini was a true freshman. Adam Fantilli, Jacob Fowler, Leonard and Gabe Perreault at Boston College. And I don't know if this guy's still playing for North Dakota, Sasha Boisvert. He was a 2024 Chicago Blackhawks draft pick. He's at North Dakota. I don't know if he's still playing or if he went up maybe last year or something like that. But anyway, my whole point is every name I just read, like you saw the reaction of Cookie with Martone. We talked about Cole Hudson. We talked about Leonard. Obviously, if the name Macklin Celebrini, Adam Fantilli, these guys are unbelievable players went in as true freshmen. But the list of true freshmen is very, very small because of the junior hockey route. And now things are going to be even more sticky with, players being able to go from major juniors to college. And so, it's you're ending up with very old freshmen. And I say very old, but at the same time, does the NCAA actually, here's something I don't know. Does the NCAA have a cap of how old you can be playing?
They do, I think. Yeah. Well, I shouldn't say that.
Because there's been a couple times where there was like a kicker that was old or something like that in football.
Yeah, no, you're not wrong. I don't know. Well, let me put it this way, because there was an ongoing joke, and obviously, thankfully, my camera is not any lower to see my gut, but there was an ongoing joke when I first arrived in Springfield, 6 years ago. When I was,
about you going to play for Missouri State?
About me playing for the Division III team, because I was not eligible to play for the Division I team. Now, that was purely based on age. That was based on age. I wasn't eligible to play for either of them because I had signed a pro contract.
Right, but here's the funny part. The NCAA does not have a strict maximum age for athletes. So,
but this whole thing we're talking about is them trying to do that. And I don't totally disagree, because the part of me says, and even in hockey, even if you come in as a 21-year-old and you play your 5 years and you turn 26, because our guy that was 25 this year turned 26 when the season ended. Like, he literally, when did we see him? Last week or the week before last, for our exit meetings. Mm-hmm. And the day of his exit meeting was the day he turned 26, actually.
Wow.
And even that is pushing a little bit because of the 5 year. But if they're going to institute a 5 year thing, I don't hate it, because most, like back in the day when you were getting your degree, it was 4 years and you're done.
Yeah.
It's not like that anymore. If you're going to college, your degrees are taking 5 years. So,
and not to mention, so many kids switch their majors.
Yeah, but when the generation before us, I guess if I had finished when I was supposed to back in the 90s, it would have been this way too. So let me just
the 1890s. He means
literally a few years older than you. Shut up. But let's just say even back in our generation. Not currently. It was a 4 year plan. In fact, they gave you 4 year plans. You probably had one yourself. They gave you a 4 year plan. They don't really do that anymore.
Well, no, and the thing is coming from
the degree is going to take you 5 years, and I don't mind that, other than from the financial side of it, which is a shit show. It's so expensive.
Yeah.
But from learning what you're supposed to learn, as long as you're getting the proper education, the 5 years fine. And so if you're going to do that, then let these athletes in all these sports have those 5 years. I think COVID, the only good that came out of it, other than, some people, well, no, there really wasn't anything else. Giving that extra year for athletes was kind of cool, even though in a way you didn't really give them an extra year, because that for most sports that year was lost.
Yeah.
But I don't mind the 5 years. That's fine, because it coincides with what kind of a degree is these days. So that's fine. I don't care about
keep in mind, for a lot, especially at the NCAA level, if you're in Division III, as you know, in Division III, there's no athletic scholarships, but schools work a way to make academic scholarships or grants come in. So the kids, especially if they're like at a Stevens Point or Utica or probably Hamilton now.
There are ways around it, and not that they're not even sketchy ways. There are ways around it. It's just, no, don't get me wrong. There are schools that have some sketchy ways of doing shit, but there are ways to find, as we always say, that we can find you money. Yeah, assuming your grades are good, or a combination of your grades are good. Your family's financial situation may not be good, so then there's some things that
they can do low income grants and stuff like that.
There are ways to help for sure.
And that's the thing is, like, for these guys, like a 5th year eligibility if you're an athlete is not as scary, because typically most, if not all, of your schooling is paid for anyway.
And I mean, generally speaking, depending on your major, that 5th year you're probably not paying as much anyways, because you're probably only taking 1 or 2 classes at that point.
Yeah.
Because you're at the end of things, and from a paying by credit hour thing, you're not responsible for a lot at that point.
What is the minimum, 9 or 11 credit hours a semester for NCAA sports?
You have to attempt 12, pass 9, but you have to pass 24 in a year.
Yeah.
So if you don't pass, if you only pass the 9 and not the 12, you still have to make up that 3 at some point.
Yeah,
Before
that's
next
funny.
year.
That's actually that's never changed.
That's never changed. No, it's always been the same. Now, once you're in that point where you're a senior or super senior, there's the grace because you don't have to do as many to finish your degree. You only have to cover what's left in your degree.
And here's the thing about that is like, I remember being 18 years old and it's just like, what are you going to do with your life? What are you going to do with your life? And I'm like, what? And you're forced and cornered to pick a major and do all this other kind of things. Like the education system in itself, like, which is the crazy part, because whatever your major is that you choose, like you still have to go through and take these core classes, right? So, and all the core classes are the same. That's why they're called core classes. So your freshman year, possibly even a freshman and sophomore year, those should just come to school, decide your major halfway through.
I will tell you this from my own recent experience of going back to school. The core thing is not exactly what it was when you and I originally went to school.
When I was a young buck.
Yeah. When you and I originally went to college, it's changed a bit, I would say, for the better. Let's put it this way. When you and I went to college, a couple things we had to have as part of our thing, which I never did, and as it turned out, I didn't need it now, was like you had to, like when I went to Iowa State, and probably the same thing when you went to St. Lawrence and all that, is you had to take, 2 semesters or 2 years of like a foreign language and shit like that.
We didn't have the foreign language part, but it was like certain sciences, certain maths you had to do.
Not a thing anymore. Depending on where you decide. Now, if you haven't chosen a major, you're probably going that route because you have to do something.
Yeah.
But if you go in as a freshman and you choose a major, you're already kind of starting that path. Now, there'll be a couple other things you have to do, but you're going to go ahead and already start leaning that way earlier than you used to.
And you're going to have to kind of know what you want to do in the future, because that's also how you choose where you go to school, because not all schools have the same programs.
Yeah, and it's, I'd be curious about the percentages on this. I'm sure there's research out there on this of how often people change their majors.
I mean, it's probably crazy high, because I
never changed mine. I always knew what I was going to do.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
I suspect it's relatively high, even if it's, let's say your business, it might tweak within that business.
Yeah.
Thing. But there's also people that go to say, I'm going to go in to be a doctor, and they end up doing like marketing. So
that's a huge, and that's could be a different things. Like we were talking about St. Lawrence and Clarkson, like Clarkson's a technical school. St. Lawrence is a liberal arts school. Like I can't say, oh, I want to go and learn how to build computers and go to Clarkson and be like, nope, I'm going to change my major. But you have to go to a totally different school for a lot of things. They don't have the major anymore. But here's my other twist, and I've kind of mentioned this before, and it's not really a popular thought on this, because like the NCAA is so financially driven, and that's where all this comes from. Like that's where all these changes, the NIL, all this other stuff it stems from mostly college basketball and football, because they're the huge money generators in NCAA sports. And it came from a place of saying, hey man, these players need to start getting compensated for what they're providing for the schools. And players were having to do everyone has the jokes like Shaquille O'Neal never made as much money as he did when he went to LSU.
Except the NCAA never wanted to do this. They finally gave in and said, fine, go at it and see what happens. And this is the one. And I'm with you. I'm not a fan of the NCAA for a variety of reasons, but I kind of give them credit in this. And because I feel like, and I think we talked about this, everybody was all in on this, pay players. And I'm not going to disagree, especially with the sports that are bringing that much money into a school. Mm-hmm. Like these guys deserve to sell a t-shirt or the one that always made me laugh is a guy couldn't even go get a job because they would.
Yeah, it has to be an on-campus job.
You couldn't even just go get a job, working at McDonald's, or they'd get in trouble. Like, what are we doing here? But what I always loved is finally the NCAA went, fine, you want this? Here you go. Don't come crying to us when it turns into a fucking shit show, which it has.
It already has. It hasn't been that long. It
absolutely has. And right now, if I'm the NCAA, I'm going, told you.
And here's the thing is like, if they're going to put rules on this, I always had like a loose idea on what these rules should be. And like, I was never against even the players getting a little bit of money. especially if they're generating that much income, because you hear these stories like these guys will go, they'll have sometimes a morning workout, then they have classes, and they schedule their classes around their sport. And then after they have practice, they have training, they have mandatory study hall. The problem is these guys miss meals because the dining halls close after a certain time, and all that's left.
Our own team here at Drury has dealt with that.
Yeah, and so
we adjusted our practice schedule and workout times just so they wouldn't miss the cafeteria being open.
And that's the thing, is a lot of their tuition goes to, whether it's scholarship or not, they have their student IDs. That's what pays for them to get their meals on campus and stuff. And these guys would miss it. And I can't remember what sport or team it was. I just remember a coach getting fined, if not suspended, because he bought his football team pizzas because it was late at night and they got home late from a game and there was nothing open, like a college in a small town.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah. And so like my first thought was like, okay, there's a couple things that need to change. I just pulled a cookie and smacked my mic. Here, the couple things that need to change is, first of all, these college athletes at all levels, Division 1, 2, and 3, need to be put on a system where they're covered under school insurance for medical if they get hurt and stuff. Because believe it or not, they're not. No, they're still on their own going through these. And if you're playing a sport like football or hockey, or like you go into basketball and you blow your knee out, like these injuries are major. Not only are they ruining your ability to play the sport, you're losing money for the school because you're not getting proper care.
And again, there's going to be plenty of people that won't give a shit about this argument. And I guess there's a point where I understand why they wouldn't. Our team is primarily Canadian. They have to get completely separate insurance when they come down here.
And I mean, they should care about that, because your school should particularly care about that, because now you have kids coming to a whole different country to come and go to school at their university. That's an honor for the university.
Yeah. I mean, we're recruiting right now for the first time since we've been here. We have on our recruiting list, we have a couple Swedish guys and a guy from Czechia.
Yeah. I saw you guys posting some commits as well.
Our first commit of the year, Canadian.
Yeah, right. But then
from one of the same teams, we've got a bunch of guys from already.
Yeah. And then the other side of that is everybody gets like a student ID card that can also be used for like almost kind of like a credit card. You can go to the school store and stuff like that. That's been around since even when we were like our freshman years. That was still a thing, is in its infancy, clearly, because we're a little older. But if these guys are going to get paid, you don't have to pay them millions of dollars to come to their school. If you want to make it across the board and keep it, because this will help from overloading and recruiting at some places. But if they're going to get a pay per sport, whatever the sport is, have a certain amount they get, either put it on a regular debit card or put it on a student ID card. So when these guys are doing these extra things, if they're out signing autographs that at the time they were not allowed to make money off of, doing all this shit for the school, basically fluffing the nuts of all the alum and the donors for all these programs, and then they get nothing out of the deal. And then they have to go to practice, and they blood, sweat, and tears throughout these sports, because no matter if it's ACHA hockey, if it's NAIA, if it's NCAA, when you play for your college, a sense of pride comes with that you cannot unpack. And so if these guys had a little bit of extra money, it gives them a little bit more breathing room. And maybe if they have a prepaid debit card, they can take care of a bill or two at home for mom. If they have a prepaid debit card, especially from sports that traditionally come from lower income stuff, because as we talked about with hockey's becoming a sport of the privileged. But yeah, right. But like basketball, baseball, soccer, these guys are still doing a lot for the school, even if they're not drawing in major things, but they can still help their families, which is the end goal of playing these sports anyway.
And by the way, I'm not immune to empathy from the non-athletes at these universities that are paying exorbitant sums as well. And I'm like you, I'm just saying, when you choose to be an athlete and you go to a college, and I'll include other things, when you choose to be a musician and you go to college for band, if you choose to be
go to like a Berkeley or something like that,
and theater and all there's so much extra time involved in what you're doing. Now, there's also students there that are not doing any of that. They're there just for the education. If what these athletes, and again, I hear that you and I have both heard the arguments, and it's, people think they're being clever when they say it, and while there might be truth to it, it's very condescending. Well, there's not 80,000 people showing up to a science fair. Well, okay, cool. But that science fair is doing a lot more for this country than your fucking football game is. So, yes, take care of these athletes whose talents and all that are bringing all this money into your university. I'm not saying you give them all of it, but give them enough to where, you know, they're not stressed about the financial side of their lives, and then take what's left and put it towards these other students that don't have the fame and the fortune to go along with it, and help them, because all of them as a whole,
even if it's in amenities and stuff like that for them.
Yes.
Make them feel like appreciated
I will
students.
tell you this, and I'm not going to get into why I know this, but Texas A&M, I'll use this as an example. Because I know, you know, I'm close to, well,
A&M, is this Kirk school where we were making the joke? That's Texas Tech with the insufferable fans.
And I know they're not the only ones to do this. I just happen to know this specifically. Because I knew someone that was kind of high up at the university very high up, actually. And this person used to tell me they were required, and they would have gone anyways, but they were also required to go to the football games up in the suite area and hobnob with, you know, big time money people, to bring money in. And this was someone who was a dean at the university. They were to go up and hobnob with these people to get money. Well, it turns out the money they were getting was for the athletic department. The athletic department money had nothing to do with academics. So a dean at the university, an academic, is going to hobnob these people to get money in just for the athletic department and getting nothing out of it for the academic part of it. What the fuck are we doing? These programs are bringing in millions, if not at times. I mean, we're probably getting close to billions.
Yeah. Well, there's schools already in the billions.
By the way, I'm talking annually.
Yeah.
I don't think we're quite at billions annually yet, but we're definitely in the millions.
Like their endowments, not like schools have billions in endowments, but it's not the annual money generated.
Exactly. So they're bringing in these millions of dollars in the athletic departments, and it's just for the athletic departments. And I should say bringing millions in for the university, but not really for the university.
Yeah.
It's just for the athletic departments. So, and you see, you know, there's a YouTube channel I follow. I can share it. I don't even share it with you, but I can share it. It's this guy that this group, and it's really cool from a nerdy athletic guy. This guy goes around to all these facilities around the country, NCAA facilities around the country, football, baseball, golf, all these things. And you go, man, this is fucking unreal. It's so cool. Like, who wouldn't want to go here? And then you go, but what does the science building look like? What does the architecture building look like? Because I guarantee you, it doesn't look like the fucking locker room these guys are in.
Their 2-level gym that they have just for the athletes.
It's insane. And I'm not saying no one deserves this. If they're bringing the money in, good. But some of that money needs to go back to the fucking university, like is happening at Texas A&M, where they're keeping it all for themselves. The academics at the university are fighting for their lives. Meanwhile, the athletics department can do whatever the fuck they want.
And here's the funny part about that.
By the way, I'm ruining any career I have right now.
Here, let me do it. So when you look at these schools, and I have a list, a small list here: Arizona State, University of Central Florida, Texas A&M, Liberty, Ohio State, Florida International University. These are the schools which right now have the highest student population on campus. Arizona State, University of Central Florida, Texas A&M, Ohio State. Of the 6 that I mentioned, or 7 that I mentioned, whatever it is, the thing these schools all have in common are major athletic departments. Now, University of Central Florida sucks at most things, but they're growing their athletics. But Arizona State, University of Central Florida, Ohio State, possibly Texas A&M. I don't know a lot about that school. Their campus life, they're also known as party schools. But these places are all these places all have these enormous enrollments. I think ASU is like almost 100,000 students. UCF's around 70, A&M's around 80, Ohio State's I think around 60 to 70. The athletics department are also bringing students to the school even if they don't play sports, because going to these games is a night out. It's a big thing to go. I mean, everybody's seen the Virginia Tech coming out to Enter Sandman for their home games and stuff like that. Like, students want to go and be a part of this stuff. So students are choosing a school based on sports they don't play. And they're going to generate all this money for the sports. The sports is going to generate all this money for the school. Stuff needs to go back to these students. And like I said, even if it's in amenities, increase their quality of life on campus. Give them better food while they're on campus. Give them better resources on campus. Give them a break in their fucking tuitions.
I think that's the concern I have is I think, and admittedly, I didn't know this until this person I know mentioned it, and it blew me away. And I was like physically upset by this, to find, especially knowing this, it's not a one-time thing. It's just happening everywhere. Is I just assumed all this money that comes in, and again, I'm banging my desk again, so my camera's shaking. I just assumed
it's like Godzilla coming on.
I assumed, ignorantly, that all this money that comes in from these massive, I mean, a team goes to the national championship in football, they're getting millions of dollars just to be there.
Well, I mean, to cut you off real quick, look at these big college programs that will pay schools millions of dollars to come play them.
Next. Yeah, I was about to say that next. I assumed at least a portion of that money went to the actual university itself. And that may be true in some cases, but
in small doses.
It's small doses. Like, what the hell, man?
But here's the bigger picture of this all is we're not a nation known for our level of education. Now, we have unbelievable schools out there, and I'm not talking about Ivy League schools.
Yeah.
Like University of Central Florida, I remember when I lived in Orlando, people called it "you can't fail." Like, they made fun of the education system there. University of Central Florida is pumping out very intelligent, high quality students that are going out into the working world. It's not just the students that are now basically running these main things are not just coming from Harvard and Yale and Princeton and stuff like that anymore. I mean, hell, our president went to Penn, and look how that's going. But at the same time,
did he?
I mean, he went there, but at the same time, a lot of these schools are they do have good educational things. Like Arizona State's known as a party school, and you hear somebody went to Arizona State and you're like, ugh, or people make fun of all the time. It's known wildly in any kind of New York-based sitcom. If you went to a school that said SUNY in front of it, it was made fun of. But they're very good schools.
They are very good schools,
and they're actually very directional. I mean, we were talking about Morrisville the other day. Morrisville doesn't have any very common degrees that you would find anywhere else.
Agricultural based school.
Agricultural and equestrian. But you know what? The world needs veterinarians. The world needs someone to know how to continue to grow crops in this country. And am I about to make a second chemtrail joke? But I'll save it.
Save it.
I don't need to have 2 coffee dates. But
well, you haven't had the first one yet.
Yeah, well, that means I win. But
you won a long time ago.
Yeah. But it's one of those things where these schools, the money does need to be dispersed a bit better, but at the same time, like, let the university's athletics program take most of it because they're bringing in more students, which is generating more stuff. But let it show to the students not playing sports. Let it show the money that's coming in. Like, what goes back to them other than a piece of paper saying thanks for coming here and a lifelong of debt.
I have a couple things, and I found the YouTube channel that I mentioned. It's called Sports Dissected.
Great name.
I'll include the link because they just go and tour these facilities. So I will include that, but I want to mention a couple of them. It's by the way, it's not all college facilities, but it's anyway. Oh my God. As I'm looking at some of these, because they have the price tags on some of them too, and I'm going to tell you about one of them here in a second. There's a couple things I want to mention first, though. Well, first of all, as we know, we've joked about, but it's true. We have a bit of an Australian following, and anybody not in this country who's watching this is going to be like, what the actual fuck are you talking about?
Oh, I guess you should have done a disclaimer.
The millions of dollars going to university sports.
Yeah.
And the reason I bring that up is because I've watched, I'm sure you have too. There's a bunch of cool YouTube videos of people from, the UK or wherever that go. I mean, you mentioned Virginia Tech. I watched a father and son go to a Virginia Tech game, and we're like, what? These are university students? Like, yeah, 100,000 people going to watch a university students play a college sport. So yeah, that's what's happening here. It's as insane as you think it is as we're talking about it.
Yeah. We're here and we've dealt with it.
Yeah.
First person.
And by the way, as John knows, I am a lifelong, I shouldn't say lifelong. I became in the very early 90s, a University of Oklahoma fan, primarily because of the football team, but I follow the softball and baseball team, primarily the softball team because they're
Cookie again proving what a great Texan he is.
Yeah, exactly. My dad and my aunt went to the University of Texas. Their dad went to Texas A&M.
Nothing like the Red River rivalry right there with Texas and Oklahoma.
My Texas A&M connection, just FYI. I never met that grandfather, but I'm a fan of one of the biggest athletic programs in the world, University of Oklahoma. And they're one of the biggest, without question. So, and I've been to games at their stadium with 80 to 90,000 people. It's just.
I was about to ask what their stadium holds. I know it's
not $100,000. It's not like Michigan with 95 to 100 grand. I think
Michigan's like 110. Penn State's 107.
What is the? I'm curious now. What am I looking for? State, yeah. Gaylord family. Capacity. There we go. Yeah, I was about right. 83,000. About 83.5, roughly.
Not too shabby.
But and again, I say that like no big deal. For our friends not from this country, yeah, 83,500 is not even remotely close to being one of the biggest amateur
college 83,000 for college
university football stadiums in this country. It's mind-numbing. The other part I will say, going just quickly back to the hockey side of it, and this is kind of where I originally started, was I do think if the NCAA goes through and institutes some of this, which I think they will at some point.
At least they're now in a position where they can start putting some regulations on this nonsense.
But what I will say is I do 100%, and I think this will happen because it'll have to, and there'll be lawsuits that'll force them to. They're going to have to go, and I won't say sport by sport basis because really, and again, I'm only saying this because I don't know of any other sport that's like this.
Right.
They're going to have to do something different with hockey because if they don't, the full lineage of how hockey works gets fucked completely. And that goes all the way to, I'm telling you right now, it goes all the way to professional hockey.
Mm-hmm. I can't remember if it was on Spit and Chicklets or one of the other hockey podcasts. Someone said hockey needs to break off from the NCAA and do their own thing and have their own governing body because of how different it is.
I heard that too. That too.
Well, I mean, the road to college hockey is so different.
But let me tell you right now, they've already done it. And it's right here.
Well, yeah.
And I say that jokingly, but can you imagine, like, if this shit happens, like, for real, the ACHA explodes. Even though we technically, like, and it's, I think it's on the website even, can't miss it. We, to a T, I don't think there's really any caveats in there. There might be one or two. We follow NCAA rules.
Yeah. Actually, I mean, last I knew, it was all on there right down to eligibility.
Yeah. But if what they're talking about is going to happen, I guarantee you there's going to be a big ass vote at the meeting immediately following that going, no, we're not doing that.
Yeah.
And our league gets massively improved. It's already improved because of the most recent ruling. And it's going to only get better because we're going to have those junior guys. The problem is, though, and this is the problem, if the NCAA does go through with this and it includes hockey, junior changes anyway, so it doesn't necessarily help us because now these kids are just going to go straight into college, conceivably, unless the ACHA does the right, promotes it well and markets it well enough, saying you have another option. Well, and the NHL says, oh, we actually do like the ACHA.
Yeah.
And maybe that's the way we need to go.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing is like you have the ACHA, which can govern themselves differently if they choose. Now, following the NCAA is just easy because they already got a handbook written.
Yeah, we have our next meeting in a month where we vote on all these rules. And
but if the NCAA breaks off from, if college hockey breaks off from the NCAA, you have to look at, now granted, the good thing is you only have 2 divisions to real deal with. Until Division 2, it's like you either go down to Division 3 or you fuck off. And you have these rules, which they can still have a lot of the same rules. And because again, colleges can still grant scholarships. So that part can still stay the same, but they can have a tighter grip on everything that's happening to keep it competitive across the board for college hockey. Because right now, because here's the other thing is the other part of that conversation they said is you have Atlantic hockey. That division, no one in that division is ever going to win a national championship right now because no one wants to go to those schools. We're talking about Sacred Heart, Army, like those schools. They never have a powerhouse team. They never have a team that really even makes much noise. They'll send some guys pro, but they also don't have the NHL output. They have AHL and ECHL output, which is still great hockey. And they are sitting there. But if they have to do something where these players basically their eligibility clock starts ticking the day they get a high school diploma in their hand, the NCAA hockey gets screwed on that deal because of what it is. Or you have to turn it into something where about kids going to play junior A hockey and stuff like this. But at the same time, hockey development's a lot different. So like maybe a kid at 18 is not really going to play as a freshman, but at 20 years old, he's developed because he got stronger and bigger. Because remember, at 18, you're still not very big.
And this is
mostly
the last hockey argument I'll make before I tell you some of these numbers I'm looking at right now. Holy fuck. And it goes right along with what you're saying is for a lot of, I guess there's part of me that wishes, and I don't know that how you would do this or how it could work with other sports. I wish other sports had juniors, basically.
You know what's funny is, to cut you off, I could have sworn I've had a conversation with you long ago.
We have.
I was like, why is there not a junior A baseball league?
We've talked about this. I don't know why. Well, the one sport I'm 100% convinced could do it is soccer.
So could lacrosse.
Yeah. But for the very reason you've kind of alluded to is one of the reasons, and I'll use our team as an example here in a minute, but one of the reasons why there are very few high school hockey players to go straight to college, it's not because they're not talented enough. There's some unbelievable talent out there, especially, again, coming out of Minnesota, Massachusetts, and places like that. It's a maturity thing.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not just a physical maturity, which is an obvious thing. In that time frame between 18 and 21, there's a big change. And we've seen it coaching juniors. We coach guys that were 16 through the fact till the time they were 21. And the difference is astronomical for a lot of them, not all of them.
Some of our younger players were the more mature guys.
Well,
sometimes.
That's true. But there's a mentality shift too.
Mm-hmm.
And there's still, you and I know from our own experience, even as a 21-year-old, you're not even remotely mature. But compared to when you were 17, 18 years old, you definitely are much more mature, especially when it comes to things like the academic side of things. And again, I'll use our team here at Drury as an example. I'll be shocked if we don't, most likely win the award here in a few weeks when we have we call the Panther Gala, where we do awards for the university athletics. I don't see how we don't win the academic award.
Mm-hmm.
Our team GPA was somewhere around 3.79, 3.8 as a team.
I remember you guys took your big trip. You posted a picture. All the guys were outside working, doing their homework.
Yeah, I occasionally will do that. I don't want to totally beat him down with that, but I will take pictures of them at the hotels, you know, studying in the mornings. Or, you know, there was the one funny when we went to Chicago and the guys were picking their classes for spring at a breakfast place. Like we basically shut down the Wi-Fi in that place trying to, and the waitresses thought it was the coolest thing ever. We finished our meal and we said, can we stick around for a while? And they're like, why? Like, well, we can't get in the hotel yet. We need your Wi-Fi so the guys can choose their classes for the spring. I thought it was the coolest thing ever.
I mean, it's a great sign for those kids and what you guys are doing at the university. And it is true because, like, I remember my junior and senior year of high school, we won the academic state championship for athletics as well. So our hockey team had the highest GPA of any sports team in New York State completely 2 years in a row, which I always find funny because hockey players are like, oh, their hockey players are dumb.
Well, we mentioned this.
By the way, I did not contribute to that winning GPA in high school.
Well, I think I mentioned this back in January. Like, we had 26 guys on our roster this year. We'll have a few more next year, but we had 26 guys on our roster this year. And we don't have, obviously, they're still in class right now, so we don't have final grades for the spring. But for the fall semester, for our 26 guys, 24 were on the dean's list.
Which is amazing.
And the other 2 were very close. So it's just, I mean,
like possible to end up on it.
And I bring that up. Yes, it's to brag, and I will brag about my guys all day long because I love my guys. But where I'm going with that is our team, and we did this last year too. Last year, you know, we had a team GPA somewhere around 365, 3.7 out of 4.0, which is crazy. And we had, I think we finished the season with 18 guys on the dean's list, something like that.
And considering, by the way,
our team last year was almost entirely freshmen.
Well, and here's the thing too, is to really kind of fluff that up even more. Other than basketball, a hockey team has the fewest amount of people on a roster. Likely, most of these other teams, like football, has.
Well, at our school, maybe not.
Do you guys have a football team? Okay. But still, I mean, 26, 27 guys on a roster. Is that what you guys have, 26?
We had 26 this year. We're going to have probably close to 30 next year.
Okay. Baseball has about the same on a roster.
Well, at our level, yeah.
Yeah.
Division I, they probably have
30.
Quite a few more. No,
yeah. Like 30 to 40. But like basketball is always less. Soccer actually has quite a bit. I mean, they usually have around 30.
Not ours, but yeah, I know what you're saying.
Yeah. So, but I mean, the whole point is, it's like you have a team with traditionally less people on a roster than a lot of the other sports in school. Because look at it this way too. You got wrestling. Wrestling is multiple weight classes. You got swimming and diving, multiple different things.
And our wrestling team at Drury is, first of all, very good. And second of all, they always have a pretty high GPA as well. But where I was going is like, what I was trying to go with that is, if you were to look at all the other teams on our campus, and even if they have a high GPA, I would argue most of that is coming from juniors and seniors, maybe a few sophomores. Our team last year, like, we had 1 senior. This year we had 2. Like, we're incredibly young, but we're incredibly young for hockey because we're all freshmen, sophomores. But as far as
you're the same age, you're the same age as the people carrying the GPA in the other ones. Yeah.
Our freshmen are the age of the seniors in other sports. So there's a maturity there. No, they have to take care of the classroom too.
Because coming straight out of high school, the average person graduates at 21, 22 years old.
That's what I'm saying. And so our guys are already there and they understand the importance of doing what they need to do in the classroom as well, which is why our academics are higher as a young team than other sports.
And by the way, to circle back, because while it sounds like a tangent, it's really not. This just goes into Cookie's argument about the guys who are coming into college as 20, 21-year-old freshmen have a little bit more of a mature mind where they're performing better in the classroom, they're organizing their responsibilities, they're prioritizing their life in a proper way, which is why a lot of people see this and not really quite get it. But that's the advantage hockey has as far as the student athlete they're bringing into the school. Versus you see a lot of these, especially massive football programs and basketball programs and baseball programs. They have a lot of troubled freshmen on the team because they're set free for the first time.
Yeah.
And now they're almost living an NFL lifestyle. Imagine an 18-year-old kid driving up to school in a Rolls Royce because they wanted
hang on. And you just brought up something very important when it comes to the junior life. Our guys are already used to being away from home.
Yep, exactly.
Junior hockey players, unless they're playing for their hometown team, which you have a few of those as well, they've already been away from home for 2, 3, 4 years.
Yep, they're better independent.
This isn't new. Yes, they're living with billet families, but they're still not with mom and dad. You know, it's a different, as much as they're billet families, and billet families are the best people in the world. Like, that's such a cool thing.
You can't have a junior team without billet families.
No, they're the heartbeat.
And I'm not saying that rhetorically.
No, they're the heartbeat of any junior program. The billet families are amazing, but it's still not mom and dad. And so these guys are used to being away from home already. And kind of, even though they have that family atmosphere, they're still kind of on their own in a way. And they're used to not having, you know, they can take care of themselves generally. And so that's again where the maturity comes in. They've been
even the trips are longer.
Hell, I moved away from home my sophomore year of high school.
Yeah. Because I mean,
I
a lot of people don't know.
I was at a prep. I was living in a dorm, so it wasn't like I had mom and dad right there with me. I was living.
That's why it's a boarding school. I've actually been to those dorms. Those dorms are kind of cool.
Way nicer now than when I was there.
Well, that's like Shattuck St. Mary's. When I went to coach that camp out there when I was 18 years old, we stayed in the dorms, and they were very similar to my college dorms. They're just because it's an older building.
Well, I want to finish my side with just blowing away some of our non-American followers here. And I've just, even though I've looked at this channel many times, I'm still blown away by it. So just as an example, I'm going to give you probably 2 examples here. And both of these are football related, because those are the big money makers. But I'll start with, well, you mentioned Texas Tech. That's Tyler's place. And this was, they're building new facilities for the football team. So new practice facilities, new locker rooms and everything. Just give a guess at the price tag of this project.
$500 million.
You're a little high. $240 million.
These are just upgrades though, right?
I don't know if it's upgrades or a new facility, but yeah, $240 million for a college practice facility. Now this won't include. Hold on. This doesn't include.
Hold on. $240 million for a practice facility?
Practice. This is going to be here. Let me get the description. So I'm not.
I somehow missed practice facility on the first part of that.
Let me pull up the description. So I'm. Hang on. Whoops! Shit. What did I do?
Dude, I've hit my mic so many times today. It's gonna sound like a drum and bass episode.
So here's what this includes. It's their new football facility featuring top-notch amenities and cutting-edge technology. So this is the weight room, the locker room.
Obviously, the training, medical room.
Yeah. So this is not the
stadium.
This doesn't even mention actually practice fields. Let me, dude, this locker room is ridiculous. No, this is not, hang on. I'm scrolling through real quick. No, there's no mention of a practice field.
This is college again, by the way. This is college kids.
This is college kids. This is their locker room, their workout facility, their training room, their nutrition room. What is this part? Oh, what is this? What is this?
Cookie doesn't know what he's looking at.
Is that the actual locker room, or is that just their dry room? Which, by the way, in hockey, if you have a great facility, you have a dry room. Anyways, this does not include any field structure according to this video. And again, we'll include this link to this. It's actually
This is Texas Tech football, right?
Texas Tech football, $240 million project. Now, we'll invoke our good friends, the Kelsey brothers.
Wait, hold on. Let me interject real quick here. I was just typing something. I wanted to Google something. Texas Tech is investing $240 million into a non-field thing, which is all the amenities and stuff like this. Texas Tech has never won a national championship in football. They're not coming from a rich tradition of championships, like even like Michigan or Texas.
Well, no, they actually do have a rich. They've never won a championship, but they do have a rich history.
They have a great history, but I'm saying they're not coming from.
Let me give you a school that doesn't have a rich history other than the Kelsey brothers. University of Cincinnati. Here's their $134 million football facility. Yeah, you heard that right. This is their practice facility. So it's their indoor practice facility, which includes locker room and training room.
Are you sharing the screen?
I mean, I can.
Well, because you're saying here it is, and I don't know what you're looking at. Don't Vanna White the letter to me and not show me the fucking letter, Cookie.
All right. Here you go.
Holy shit.
This is Cincinnati Bearcats new training, $134 million. And no, they do not have a rich football tradition other than the Kelsey brothers. So
they have
that's a dry room, essentially.
Look at that. That's the dry room. Those are TVs above each stall, by the way.
Yeah, those are
or at least like LED displays, which is a new common thing.
I guess this is the actual locker room.
Here's where the dry room is very important, by the way. A lot of these big NCAA, I believe, I know in professional sports, these guys are not allowed to have their cell phones in the locker room. You actually have to be off your cell phone. It has to be locked up during your game times. I don't know about, obviously not during practice, but during game time, the players all have to lock up their phones.
By the way, this is not the weight room. This is the training facility for recovery,
rehab and stuff.
Yeah. It includes a water treadmill.
Nice.
2 different pools. Actually, no, 4. There's 4 there. I can see more back there. Hydrotherapy. Look at the showers.
I mean, in football, mind you, everything's going to be bigger because they have 100 players.
Here's their nutrition setup.
That's pretty awesome.
They've got the blenders.
Yep. You got to staff them, too.
You want a video room?
The theater. Yeah, I figured that.
I'll give you a video room.
Is that what you're getting a Drury next year? For the hockey team?
Look at this. I mean, what are we doing here?
However, the video room is always my favorite room when they show stuff off season, because it's where they'll show somebody when they someone's there as a walk-on, they give them a scholarship. They always kind of announce it during those things. I love those videos.
Again, I'm not trying to bash on Cincinnati by any means.
And let's hold on, pause right here. I know you're not playing it, but don't scroll further. Jawan Briggs, Trey Tucker, Brian Cook. These aren't names like Kelsey. These aren't Elways and Marinos.
I'm gonna try and see if there's more. Yeah.
Wolf.
Connor Barwin, I've heard of. Alec Pierce, I have no idea. 54 draft picks. I mean, Oklahoma does that in 2 years.
Half their roster.
I mean, there's a Kelsey brother. He gets the big photo.
Yep, as he should.
Oh, these are. Yeah, there they are. There's the boys. There's the boys. You want to?
I mean, how many Super Bowls between the two of them? 6?
No.
Dude, Kelsey, Jason's won at least 2 of them.
Jason won 1.
Jason only won 1? I thought the Eagles won 2 in him there.
I think they only won 1. And then Travis has won 3. Yeah. So anyways, you get the idea. This is not a major.
And put it into perspective, Capital One Arena is going through a huge remodel right now. Capital One Arena hosts the Capitals, host Washington Wizards, it hosts Georgetown University basketball, which is only because I'm pretty sure the main investors of Capital One went to Georgetown as well, because they bring like 3,000 fans out of the 20,000 seats.
You want to go hockey?
Yeah.
On the banks of the Mississippi.
Hi, I'm deaf real quick.
Sorry.
But Capital One Arena's remodel. Oh, and they do concerts. It's one of the busiest arenas in North America, if not the world. The remodel is $550 million, but it generates the amount of money that place alone generates. All right, go. Oh, St. Thomas.
This is St. Thomas.
This is a brand new D1 hockey team.
Basketball and hockey. $183 million facility.
Where is this? Minnesota?
I have no idea. But here's St. Thomas. Let's
Oh, he's got the hard hat.
he does have the hard hat. I've got
Nice indoor practice.
yeah, it's sweet. Very sweet.
That's probably not their main practice facility, by the way. That's probably like their game day, whatever. Oh, that looks.
How sick is this?
That's nice.
How sick is this place? So it's basketball and hockey.
Nice suites.
Dude, are you kidding me with this?
That's nice. Great student section.
So again, I will say, let me
God, they need a photographer.
here we go. This is their practice rink.
Yep.
Sick. With bleachers. So again, I will we'll come back to us. For our non-American friends, and we're almost 2 hours into this again. These are technically amateur sports. And we're talking $250,000 facilities, and some way more than that. There actually are $500,000 to $1 billion facilities in college athletics right now. They exist, and it's this is where we're at.
Yeah, St. Thomas is in St. Paul, Minnesota.
Yeah.
So
anyways, it's just we're definitely, this is without question a story we're going to follow, because
I mean, it can directly affect everything.
it can absolutely affect what I'm doing for sure.
Yeah. What you're doing now and what your future plans might be.
Yeah. And it's, it'll be curious, but again, to go back to what I said right off the top, it's one of those things that feels like it's only going to take one lawsuit for this thing to just be squashed. And I'm sure there's going to be other sports besides hockey that are going to be upset. There is absolutely no question. It only took, but let's put it this way. This is the easiest way to put it. It took one lawsuit in hockey for major junior guys to have eligibility in the NCAA. That's all it took.
Yeah. Yep. Where'd the guy go to? I don't even think it was for him to go to a major school. It wasn't like a Michigan.
Wasn't it Arizona State?
Yeah. It was for him to go to Arizona State.
Yeah.
You're right. That's right.
So one lawsuit got the major junior guys into college hockey.
To a school with a brand new program, ultimately.
I've been around for longer than you think, but yes.
It's like 5-6 years only. It's
more than that. But one of the newer ones.
Yeah.
So it's only going to take one lawsuit from the hockey side of things to say, no, not that we disagree with what you're trying to do, but hockey, we need to amend that. Let's put it this way. We'll amend it. We'll do it the 5-year thing. We don't disagree with that, but we can't have the 19-year-old thing or the high school graduation thing. That's never going to work ever. You're
right. They're going in there. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Yeah, the 2015-16. So they're in their 10th year right now.
My thinking on the hockey thing is going to be less about a start date and more about an end date. So that 26-year-old kind of thing, 27-year-old, which I think is too far, but I think that's going to be more along what hockey might try and do with that 5-year window. Because it's rare, unlike these guys in football going 8-9 years, you don't have hockey guys trying to get 6, 7, 8 years out of this thing. They do their 4 or 5 years and they're done.
I mean, the guys that go pro play 2 years.
If that. Yeah.
I mean, Gavin McKenna, like I said, came in at 17 years old. He turned to 18, I want to say in like December or January or something like that.
It's his draft year. So.
It's his draft year right now. And I think he still sits as the number one overall possibility, but like after he gets drafted, does he go back to Penn State for another year? I mean, no one really knows. So it's it's a wild world. But I mean, I'll be honest with you, I wouldn't be shocked if that all happens.
I heard, I read something yesterday or today that there are some potential locker room issues at Penn State. So maybe not.
Shit. Well,
And by the way, they're losing a lot. And that doesn't even include him. Like, they've got a bunch of guys that are leaving, like not transfer, but like, or they have an older team.
I wonder
Which might make his decision for him.
Yeah, I wonder where the issue with that comes in too. Like, if there's locker room issues, is it a player thing? Is it a coach allowing things to happen thing?
Yeah, I don't know.
So, but yeah, I mean, and here's the thing: I wouldn't be surprised if this all happens and there's these strict rules. If college hockey says, "Well, f you guys,"
ACHA baby, come see us. Where, by the way, we're already seeing the trickle down effect. I can tell you that. We can't make any announcements yet because we don't have official commitments, but yeah, we're seeing it finally, including from some coaches at higher levels that have always kind of looked down upon us. Not so much.
Yeah, I know some of those coaches.
And I lost my voice doing that.
I heard that. Cookie just silently drifts off into the world of no voice.
I did. That was not intentional.
But definitely let us know. I mean, put in the comments. I mean, if you're not from the States and you're watching this, like, let us know how insane this sounds to you. We grew up with it. Like, this is all we knew growing up. And it wasn't until we started getting a taste of the real world and seeing people's faces when we talk about what happens with our schools. First of all, the fact you can go to Norway and get paid to go to school. But here, like, people are in financial crippling debt for the rest of their life after going to college. But if you've played college sports, or if you have, I just heard a beep, so it threw me off. If you played college sports, or if you've, looked into it, or you coach or whatever, I mean, leave a comment. Let us know what you think about all this, where you kind of see it going. I'm pretty interested in knowing where people see it as it is, especially people who might be around me and Cookie's age that grew up in a totally different world of college hockey or college sports. It's not about just hockey, by the way. This is a college sports thing completely. So,
and I will finish with this, and I definitely want to finish because we've gone way longer than I thought we would. Sinbad, we haven't forgotten. And I don't know if John had ever heard of him, but I have. Again, I've watched a documentary about it, but I'm not going to pretend to know the full story. But I've actually watched 2 documentaries years ago about Peter Norman. I do know the name Peter Norman. I'm glad you brought it up. I would like to talk about Peter Norman and what he did in the Olympics back in the 60s, many years ago, and standing in solidarity with 2 American runners as well. It's a phenomenal but very sad story as well. So thank you for.
Are you talking about 1930s?
Not 30s. No. This is the one where Peter Norman was an Australian runner, and he won a bronze, and the 2 Americans won gold and silver. But anyways, they, gave the fist salute. 2 African American runners. Well, not in the 30s.
That wasn't during.
It was in the 60s.
Was it?
Yeah.
Because there was also. Oh, you know what? I do know what you're talking about, but I'm also confusing something. Sorry, not to take this away from Australia. There was another silent protest like that during the Olympics in Munich.
Yeah,
during World War II.
This was the Mexico City Olympics in 1968.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Cookie was just a high school kid at that time.
Shut up. I was -8. No, it's an important story. Like I said, there are documentaries about it, which are incredible. It's an important story. It's a powerful story. It's a sad story with what happened to him. And there was it's hard to say there was a positive outcome in the end because it was posthumous. He had already passed away when he was granted a full apology from the Australian government with how he was treated. But yeah, it's a really moving story.
I'll have to check this out.
Yeah, definitely check it out. We'll discuss it at some point along the way. It's not. It's one of those that doesn't need a specific time. So one time.
You know what? Maybe that'll be the thing we react to. You've already seen it, but I haven't.
There's more than one. Yeah, I think there's even a 30 for 30.
Wow.
So we'll definitely do that. And then I still plan on, I mentioned it last week for anybody that watched last week's episode when I was down in Texas. I do plan on doing this. I'll do this without John, so I don't put him in any danger of getting in trouble. But I do want to discuss what a certain NHL team is doing at the moment. I want to do a little more research first before I do that, and find out what other teams are doing that are similar that might make the story even worse. But fuck you, Toronto.
I'm sure we just beat them 4-0. I'm sure next week I'll obviously want to talk a bit about if it's the end of our season or not. Like we're still sitting it there. And if I can just do a quick humble brag 2 hours into this. Exactly. So we did our team photo last week, which team photo day is always super fun. It's a ridiculously long day for me, because I get there early and I'm only using like 4 strobes and it's whatever. That part's easy. We do the team photo. We do the team photo with extended front office staff. Then we do it with, main sponsors. We do a team photo and then we do one with the entire like staff of the Capitals there. It's always a lot of fun. It was funny. They had one guy like doing BTS of me. And finally, there's a part I go, why are you pointing that thing at me? Like the camera? He's like, they asked for this. I'm like, who did this? And he told me the lady who did it, one of our producers. I go, is she mad at me? Like, why are you pointing that thing at me? But my humble weird brag is I never really put much into if I post something on Instagram, how well it does or something. Like first of all, Instagram is not my portfolio. It's just something where I post like highlights of games just to keep it active. Obviously, we share the different clips that we do here from the episode. But I posted the photo of it was the team. It was Ovi, Wilson, and Strome, like just with their arms around each other as like a leadership photo. And then I did another one of our young guys. It was like Leonard Sordiff, Protus's younger brother. Cole Hudson was in there. And was there another guy? But anyway, this thing is up to like 2,300 likes. It's the most by millions of miles I've ever gotten on a post.
By the way, how bad did Hudson feel the other night?
Scoring the open empty netter?
When he didn't realize Protus, the younger Protus, was right behind him.
He was secondary assist on it. But he, in all fairness, the younger Protus was covered.
Oh, was he?
Yeah, he had a guy right on him.
The look on Hudson's face was epic.
You see, he's like this. He went up to him.
He felt so bad, like he missed out on getting him his first goal.
Yeah, but let me tell you, did you see the stats on that line?
No, I didn't care that much. I was just bringing that up.
Not the Cole Hudson thing. It was Wilson and the 2 Protuses.
I did see a funny comment from was it who are you playing?
Toronto.
Yeah, Berube.
Yeah.
Did you see his line?
No.
They asked him, "Go, what do you think about the Protus Wilson line?" He goes, "I think I might have to suit up."
But yeah, I did see that. Well, that was why, because so you have Alexei Protus, which is 6'5", 250 pounds. You have Ilya Protus, which is 19, 6'5", 225 pounds. And you have Tom Wilson, 6'4", 225 pounds. 700 pounds on just the 3 forwards.
Berube, because for those who don't know, Berube was a brawler. Like he was a beast.
He was a big dude. But that line, like, can you imagine being someone the size of Cole Hudson or Ryan Leonard and you're lining up next to those 3 monsters?
By the way, you see me turning. I wish we were live because I would love to tell people to tune in right now, because game 2 of the Frozen Four semifinals is happening right now. And it is currently 2-2 with 4 minutes to go in the second period between Denver and Michigan. This is going to be awesome.
Is it on Hulu?
No, it's on ESPN.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Hulu might have ESPN. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
I had to turn it on real quick to check the score, and yeah, it's 2-2 with 4 to go in the second between Michigan and Denver. And yes, our buddy Mr. Law, who by the way still has not responded to me, is there.
Yeah, he's probably getting another tattoo to cover up somebody's name. So, sorry, Lossie. But yeah, so, that's what we got. That was my humble brag. Thanks for letting me do it. But it's kind of cool that like a photo took off so hard. Like I've never had that happen before.
Yeah, no, that's cool.
Especially cool. Like even it was the day after the 895 anniversary. Like that one's only got like 200 and something likes on it, which is still cool. And I appreciate every time somebody likes it. Like, thank you. But yeah, the algorithm's like, hey, let's hook you up today, because it was like not even game photos.
Yeah, nice.
But yeah, kind of a cool thing. So hopefully, hopefully none of those people are our friends and our family, so they'll actually watch the show. And I'm going to throw some shade at the podcaster bait guys real quick. I went in, I talked shit and left all within 30 seconds. And Adam messaged me later and goes, hey, nice drive-by. I go, I'll support you and you guys support us. And because they don't.
Yeah, I will say, in their defense, they've come on our show.
Yeah, well, we have jobs we need to look out for why we can't go on their show. Fuck you, Adam.
That's a fair point. It's a very fair point.
So, but yeah.
Speaking of that, speaking of them coming on our show, don't forget freedomflavorsusa.com.
15%.
15%, yes.
AAP.
AAP promo code.
He messaged me. I am due for another order. I'm going to do some actually as soon as we sign off here.
I think my parents are about to order some too.
It is very good. Also, we got Wish Cup coming up. We're actually really looking forward to that. We're talking a little bit about it. We're going to try and get some people on before we go into Wish Cup. And honestly, that's just going to be cool broadcasting from there. It's going to be live in different specs. Everything will be recorded as well.
I'm still hoping I might max out a credit card to do this, at least for the beginning. I really want to build a proper desk for us that I can also use for a coach's show. So I'm hopeful. I'm going to.
That's insane for this one, because we don't even know the space we're going to have.
No, I know, but the idea I have is kind of modular, so it'll fit wherever. So yeah,
but yeah, it's going to be it's going to be such a cool thing. And we're looking forward to all that. But, we appreciate everybody hanging in there for now the 2 hours. I mean, I kind of knew with the topic we were going into, I knew it was going to be a little bit longer.
Yeah. And just FYI, our schedules, and again, we're recording this Thursday night. My assumption is you'll probably see this, unless we can get it done overnight. It'll probably be maybe Saturday before you see this. Our schedules are a little off the last few weeks and might stay that way for a bit as we're kind of John's finishing up his season.
It's the unknown right now. Like,
yeah, there's a lot of unknowns, including we're also kind of in that time of trying to, really ramp up for Wish Cup. So the normal schedule of Tuesday, Friday might not fully happen, but we're working on it.
It'll be in the pocket in there somewhere. So.
We're getting the shows done, just maybe not on the normal days. So just FYI.
Yeah, so we appreciate you guys being patient and watching. Of course, everybody, please like and subscribe. Unless they're who?
Tell your friends and our families.
Please tell our families. Clearly, they know nothing about this.
Like, subscribe, comment down below, of course. Let us know what you think of what's happening. And if you're not from the States, what university sports are like where you are, because I have no doubt they're nothing like what the absolute madness is here.
Yep.
I mean, again, I have the Frozen Four on right now, and hockey's not one of the major university sports, yet they're in Las Vegas playing in front of probably 20,000 people right now. So,
yep. And in one of the coolest arenas in the NHL.
Yeah, amateurs. I mean, the place, well, it's not completely packed. There's a few empty seats because they just did a zoom out. That was good timing, actually. I'm a little surprised it's not, because Denver's not that far a trip, but it's not.
And it's
hard
Vegas.
To get to Vegas. It's not hard to get to Vegas from anywhere.
Go stay at the Stratosphere, everybody. You'll have lung cancer before you leave, I promise. But one last thing, again, a topic for next week, Cookie. This is going to be for you. This is going to be for viewers to drop some suggestions. I think one of the coolest things happening right now, it started with Mariano Rivera coming out to enter Sandman as a closer in the MLB. Last year, what was the baseball closer that came out to the Edwin Diaz? I think came out with the trumpet player when he came out to close. And now there's the pitcher, Mason Miller, that comes out. I think he plays for San Diego.
Yeah, I know there's some cool closer.
And he comes out to Blind by Korn, which I'm not as much as I love metal, I'm not a Korn guy. But coming out to that song, the lights go out and it's all like synced. It is cool.
There's some cool pitcher, whether it's starters or closer or just relievers in general. There's some cool intros these days. Yeah.
Oh man, yeah. Like let me tell you, if I were coming up to bat and then Corn starts playing, this guy's coming out, lights are off. I'm like, shit. Pure intimidation factor right there. Like, please serve me up a fat, juicy curveball I can take yard because this is terrifying. So, yeah, let us know some of the cool ones you have on that, or what some cool ideas would be. Cookie, bang your desk a couple more times so we know that we're in Jurassic Park, for Christ's sakes. Thanks, everybody.